This is World History, September the 11th. We are going to look at the Punic Wars. Rome had become a major player in the trading of goods from one area to another. Rome had begun to establish colonies around the Mediterranean Sea. It is because of this Rome came in conflict with Carthage, which is where modern-day Tunisia is. Rome began to pressure Carthage to give up its trading forces. When Carthage refused, we fight the First Punic War. Now, the First Punic War was mostly a sea battle, and it showed the might of Rome on the sea, and Rome was victorious. Carthage was forced to give up some of its trade. But in 218 BC, this time Carthage struck. Carthage was led by the great general Hannibal. Carthage would go through Spain, over the Alps, and attack Rome from the north. The Roman army was routed at the Battle of Cannae. While Rome was battling in the east of Italy, several Roman legions were transported across the Mediterranean, and they would attack Carthage. Now, this next slide deals with the Battle of Cannae. Now, of course, I can't show it to you because I am afraid that this will get blocked. So we're going to pass this, and this takes about 5 minutes. Here is a map of the Roman Empire, and Cannae would be right here in the southern part of Italy. Now, you probably will want to put an X in that southern part simply because when we have the quiz, we're going to see that again. Led by the Roman general Scipio, the forces who had been detached from Rome to go across the Mediterranean will meet the Carthaginians in Zama. Now, Hannibal had been forced to follow Scipio across the Mediterranean Sea, and it was Scipio who had the advantage over Hannibal. Now, Hannibal faced devastating losses. Hannibal sued for peace, and more land was taken away from Carthage. This next video talks about the Battle of Zama. Again, I'm afraid YouTube is going to block it, so we'll skip over this. Again, it's about 5 minutes. Now, the Battle of Zama is located here in the part of Africa that we today call Tunisia. Now, Rome has won the first battle of the Punic Wars. Rome has won the second battle of the Punic Wars. The last battle of the Punic Wars occurred in 146 BC. Again, Rome will go to Carthage because of a trade dispute and will destroy the Carthaginian army. The fields of Carthage will be turned over and salted. The men will be killed. The women and children will be sold into slavery. This is the end of the Punic Wars. So it is important to know that the first one was navy. The second one had a battle fought in Italy and a battle fought in Tunisia. It had Hannibal and Scipio. And then in the third battle, it was simply an all-out rout of the Carthaginians, and Carthage, for the most part, disappears. The wars against Carthage had unified the Romans, but now that the wars are over, those who actually fought the battles, the Flavians demanded more land. They demanded more money for their service to the Republic. Now, the Senate, which of course is controlled by patricians, refused. There were a large number of patricians who wanted to give in to the Flavian demands, but there was also a large number of patricians who did not want to give up their large farms called latifundias. They felt that this was too much of an opposition. Two brothers, the Gracchus brothers, will organize the Flavians. Now we're at about 100 BC. The Gracchus brothers are going to try to get the Senate to go along with the Flavians. A war between patrician versus patrician will break out, in which patrician can organize the biggest armies. Well, as it turned out, both of the Gracchuses were killed along with thousands of their followers. The Roman Republic had now descended into chaos. Many of the wealthy patricians began to build up giant armies to protect themselves from other wealthy patricians and from the Flavians who had survived. The Senate was split. The councils seemed to be fighting with each other, and the Roman government was leaderless. To step into the void was Lucius Cornelius Sulla. Sulla was appointed dictator, and Sulla and his followers will begin to take away land from the patricians who disagreed with him and give them to the Flavians who had supported him. Now, Sulla's reign was quite brief, and in the end, Sulla would die of natural causes, and when he died, a new revolt will take place. Now, it is during this new revolt that we see a gladiator by the name of Spartacus. He is going to inspire a great number of slaves, and they will run away from their masters, and they will create an army. Now, this army is going to attack the various latifundias. Each time, Spartacus seems to get closer and closer and closer to Rome. In the end, though, Marcus Crassus is going to take his legions, and he's going to defeat Spartacus just outside of Rome. Spartacus and all of his men will be crucified along the road to Rome, and for his efforts, Crassus will be announced dictator. Now, this video here talks a great deal about Crassus and Spartacus and the revolt that he put down. Many in the Senate feared that there would be a new civil war. To bring peace, the First Republic was created. Now, Pompey, Crassus, and Julius Caesar will bond together to try to stop this civil war. Now, Pompey and Caesar had very large armies. I must tell you, Pompey and Caesar did not care much for each other. Crassus was always the glue that held everything together. Now, Caesar was up north. Caesar was in Gaul, that's what we today call France, and he was putting down a Germanic uprising. Pompey was in the northern part of what we today would call Italy, keeping the peace as well. Crassus had been killed in a battle, and this was in modern-day Turkey. And Caesar and Pompey will begin to fight over who should be given the title of dictator. Now, Caesar had hoped that he could end this disagreement in which he married his daughter to Pompey. But Caesar's daughter will die in childbirth, and pretty much the wheels fall off the wagons, and both sides decide to go to war with each other. In a hope of not having this civil war continue, Caesar was ordered back to Rome without his legions. Caesar came back, but Caesar returned with his legions. This is from the famous line in Julius Caesar from Shakespeare, "Caesar has crossed the Rubicon." That's a river in the northern part of the Roman Empire. When he returned, he was declared dictator and consul. And the next video talks about Caesar and his work. Now, we're going to stop it here today because it is at this point that Caesar will leave Rome and go to Egypt. He is there to stop a squabble between Ptolemy and Cleopatra. Both envision themselves as the next pharaoh. Now, Caesar has been appointed consul of Rome, which means he gets to oversee the will. And it is during this time that he will meet up with Cleopatra, and that's going to cause some interesting developments. Well, we're going to stop here today.